Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out.
Sales is changing. Sales is changing fast and rapidly. How do I know this? Well, studies come out and they tell us that almost 6 or 7 out of 10 B2B customers have literally made a decision before they ever talk to a sales rep. Why? Well, quite frankly, they have more access to information. They can look up pricing. See, in the old days, we would have a first appointment and we'd get to know the person and we'd find something in common. Hopefully we send a thank you card. We talk about the fish on the wall story. Now, on first appointments, we get price objections. So our ability and agility as sales reps have dramatically had to change. Now, let's talk about working with consumers. Last night, before this podcast, I went to look at a car. And I've done business with this organization, Ewald Automotive. I've done business with one of its owners, Eric Ewald, for years. And they're also a customer to kind of put a proper frame of reference in place. And I have to tell you, every single time I do business with Eric, it teaches me something. So I told him my wife was not happy with her Ford EcoSport. She wanted something with more power. Now, I personally don't care what I drive. And she wanted a Ford Edge. It's more her style. And I said, look, we don't need to do anything for about a year or 2 years. Both our cars have low mileage, etc. But if something came along, let me know. About a month goes by. He calls me up and says, I've got something for you. I've got a used Ford Edge. I think you ought to look at it. And I said, okay. And I said, well, it's not drastic. I wasn't really buying. He said, well, do me a favor. Send me the VIN number of the car that you would trade in. I said, what? He said, send me the VIN number. So I did. And again, I have a great deal of trust. So I went to the dealership, and on a piece of paper, the purchase was laid out. Not as a quote, not as a transaction, but a solution. He said, well, your current car, you have roughly around 50 to 60,000 miles. You're going to probably need new tires. Have you noticed anything with the brakes? I said, well, ironically, yeah, I hear some rubbing. And he said, look, I can get you in the Ford Edge. It's a used car, low miles. Your payment will increase by X dollars, not by much, but you're going to go in with no money down. I'll pay off your other car. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, every dealership can do that. How many times have you had somebody look up your VIN number before you got there, had 2 or 3 scenarios laid out for you? So within 1 hour, maybe 90 minutes, the financing was done, the purchase was done, the training on the car was done, with no money down. Here's the funny thing. I did not plan on buying a car. So I went home, gave my wife the car, and obviously it's the one that she wanted, and she said, oh my gosh, how did you get this done so quickly? I said, well, Eric had everything ready. She goes, oh, what a shock. So here's the lesson. Buyers are buying differently. See, years ago, what did we do? We went on the car lot and started walking around. Now you look online, or you have someone like Eric who looks online for you. People are purchasing products and services, whether in a B2B or in a B2C environment, much differently. So our role as salespeople have changed. So let me give you another example. I had 2 people in the last week reach out to me, and they said, we'd like to talk to you about what your company does. I said, oh, okay. And I said, well, how did you find me? And I said, I see that we're a first level connection on LinkedIn, but why are you reaching out to me? They said, oh, we just love your style with your podcasts and your articles and your videos. You're obviously an expert in the coaching field. Now, I think there's a lot of experts in the coaching field. I don't think I'm any better than anybody else. I've been doing it a long time. Doesn't mean I'm better or worse, but it also taught me a lesson. Salespeople today need to be subject matter experts. Salespeople today need to be thought leaders. Salespeople today need to be ready at a moment's notice. So when I exchanged a couple messages on LinkedIn, I asked the particular person who reached out to me, or at least the first person, I said, could I call you? Could I have permission? And she said, oh, absolutely. So I called her and we had a nice 5-minute chit chat. She said, look, we're not going to do anything probably till the first quarter. I said, no problem. She said, can I tell you something? I said, what? She goes, it is so nice to not have somebody immediately contact you after we fill out a form or we attend a webinar. And I said, well, but on the other hand, that is our expertise. And I said, I need to do more of that, quite frankly. She said, the reason I reached out to you is I don't feel pressure from you. I feel a genuine, authentic commitment to helping people. She said, I don't think I would get that from a traditional salesperson. Now, that begs the question, what am I doing that's a little bit different? I don't think I'm a great salesperson. I think I'm okay. I think what gives people a comfort level is it's my stuff and I know what I'm talking about because it's my stuff. But it really goes to another lesson. You have to know your stuff. See, when I went to Eric, he knew every part of that deal like the back of his hand by the time I showed up. Every objection, every question, every inquisition or inquisitive thought I had, he had a response. So what we have to do as salespeople is be on the front end and adapt to the way people are buying, to adapt to the situation or circumstance they present to us. We also have to be out front of the marketplace telling people, come find me. Come find me because you know what? I'm an expert. Let me give you another example. Agricultural. We have a lot of agricultural clients. Now, of all the industries we've worked in, from professional sports, banking, credit unions, manufacturing, if there was ever an industry that truly represented the notion it's all about relationships, it's agricultural. These are incredible people who work hard and do business the right way, in my estimation. So for years, it was all about the relationship. I've had more of my clients reach out and say, you know what? We need to learn how to coach our people to be more in a ready mode on a first appointment than we've ever had to be. And I said, what do you mean? He said, our business world has changed. People can now, on their farms, look up our competitors' products, features, benefits, service programs before we ever meet with them. We have to be ready with competitor and price objection responses. We never had to do that. So what's actually happened, and there's good news and bad news. The bad news is sometimes we're not ready. The good news is the sales process in some industries is actually shrinking because of the knowledge of our buyers. So think about what you need to do to be more ready. Think about what you need to know to become a subject matter expert. Think about what you need to do to really put yourself out there as a magnet to draw people in. The world of sales is changing. Good luck. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called
coach to you. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.